so wonderful to be here in the midst of viewers like yourself and with my wonderful crew. I really appreciate that we're all here together one more time, and I'm feeling so fortunate that we have been able to come together over the last 8 years at least once a week. So I hope you're staying with your practice. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. For this show, it's called Yogaxpress. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. Over the next few episodes, I'm going to break down my teaching into different segments. So we're going to start off the first one with back bends. Now remember, when and if you have pain in the back, whether it's upper or lower back, the back is very important, and that's why we're starting off with back bends. The back is very important because if your spine is not in good shape, the rest of you doesn't really work. You can do without your extremities, your arms and legs. You can do without your arms, without your legs. Sometimes you can even you can move even without having to think. But if your spine is in good shape, the rest of you is fine. So I'm going to use a very simple postcard that I put together many years ago because it helped me a lot. And actually it's right there next to me as well. But this card that I have in my hand also has the name. So go to my website, yogaxpress.com, yogaxpress.com. All I do, I print out this postcard. Sometimes you could do it yourself. And I just look at all the different postures. There are 48 simple postures starting from standing, seated, prone, and supine. It's all color-coded. All the standing ones are in green, seated in red, prone in blue, and supine in purple. So today's back bend, I'm going to start with a very simple back bend. And I'm going to stand up for this using my little cheat sheet right here. We're going to do about 8 minutes of back bends. So our episode, that's one segment. We're going to do 3 segments. So it'll be back bends. You've got to balance it with forward folds. Now the first back bend, and you may not think of this as a back bend, keep the insides of your feet parallel. And in fact, your toes can be a little closer than your heels. Press your palms in. So you want to make sure that your mind is feeling nice and centered. So bring your elbows out. Toes are closed in. Heels are slightly apart. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Now, as I inhale, I'm going to take my palms all the way up. Inhale, open your eyes. Hasta Uttana, arms raised. And then I'm sure our cameras will pick this up in profile. But as I exhale, I'm going to tip my hands back. And just so you can get a better angle, Lizette and Antonio, inhale, come back to the center. Now every time you do a back bend, however simple it is, you want to do a counter posture. So you want to do a forward fold. Hasta Uttana was arms raised. Now it's going to be Pada Hasta. Pada Hasta, Pada is feet, Hasta is arms, hands. Exhale and fold. Pause at midpoint. Keep exhaling all the way. Notice when you do this forward fold, you're also getting a beautiful, beautiful stretch of your hamstrings in the back of your legs. One of these days we'll have an episode where I'll talk to you about your different body parts from the outside. Inhale, let me come up. Exhale, palms in the middle of the chest. There is a very intense back bend, and I don't want you to do this first thing in the morning, but I want you to understand there's a technique to any posture that we do right here on our show, but also in a yoga classroom. And many of the teachers know the techniques and the strategies. Sometimes they may not have a chance to explain it to you, so I'm going to help you understand that. There's a posture called Tiryanga Asana. Tiryanga is reverse inversion. It's really, it's an intense back bend. And for this particular posture, actually, maybe I should turn this way so your camera can pick me up right here. Place your palms, the heel of your palms just above your buttocks, and take your elbows as much back as you can. Bring your feet out about 12 to 16 inches apart. Chin is level to the ground. Take a deep inhale and lift your chin up. Once you go past midpoint, I'm going to exhale and glide my palms down the back of my thighs. If you need to, feel free to bend your knees. Exhale and bend back. Now remember, tighten your buttock muscles to protect your back. Now you want to make sure, of course, I'm speaking as I'm in my back bend. This is as far as I can go. You want to make sure that whatever you do, you don't slip. So make sure that before you start, your toes are in a little bit. Inhale, let's come up. Then because this is a pretty intense back bend, I'm going to pause a little bit at midpoint, just so you don't feel dizzy, you don't want to fall off. And then I'm going to go into a complete forward fold with my feet all the way out. So Tiryang is intense reverse inversion, intense back bend. This one is called Prasarita Padottanasana. So we're really not just doing back bends, because it's very dangerous to just do back bends. We're doing back and forward folds. We're really combining two in one episode, in one segment. So bring your feet up, bring your legs out about 3 to 4 feet apart. Toes, put your brakes on, bring your toes in so you don't slip. Notice we don't use any props here in the studio, but the only prop I really want to use is the yoga mat at this point. So my feet are out, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide spread legs. Inhale your arms up to shoulder height, palms are facing down. Keep inhaling, turn your palms out, take your palms all the way overhead. And then you can clasp your palms together. I need to do that or I come undone. So I'm going to clasp my palms together and then wiggle your biceps behind your ears. Exhale, fold from the hip and pause at midpoint. Keep your back nice and straight. Pause. Keep exhaling. Place your palms, if you can, between the feet. If not, in the beginning, you can place your palms a little further ahead in front of you, and then take your feet out even wider till your palms come down. Now I'm going to look straight ahead for just a few seconds. Take a deep inhale and exhale. As I exhale, I'm going to try and touch the top of my head to the mat. Exhale and dip. For today, if the crown of your head does not touch the mat, don't get disillusioned. You can use a block, a book, anything that brings some height. So if your head doesn't touch the floor is going to come up and receive you. So I'm going to hold it right there, come up till I feel a little steady. And you can hold that, the crown of the head can be down for a few seconds. You can take a full inhale and exhale. I'm going to wiggle my feet a little closer together till I think it's safe to take my palms off of the mat. Place your palms on your hips. I'm going to take my elbows back and come up to midpoint. Keep inhaling, come up all the way. Exhale and relax. Now some schools advise you to jump your feet together. I'm a little bit of an anti-gravity kind of person. I don't like going against gravity. So you'll notice that I bring my feet together, and that's fine. You're still getting the same stretch. You should be able to feel a delicious stretch again all the way down the back. So down the back of your thighs, all the way down when you do this full widespread stretch. Now I'm thinking we probably have at least another 2 to 3 minutes for the back bends. Lizette, how are we doing? Do we have, how many minutes for the whole episode to be over? 17, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more back bends, but this time we're going to take it, first we'll start, there's one pair more in the standing posture, so I'd like to take you through that. It also involves a little bit of balance. So I'm going to have to be very, very quiet when I'm holding the posture. And I want you to do the same. Feel free to use a chair if you need to. It's called Nataraj or dancer's pose. So transfer your weight to the right leg. Place your right hand on your right hip. Take your right shoulder back. Inhale. Lift your left foot off, left heel off of the ground. Raise your left foot. Hold on to the left ankle and slowly work your way to the left big toe. Now in balanced positions, you want, actually, you know what? This one, I would extend the leg in front. So for Nataraj, I'm going to take my foot from behind, hold on to my left ankle. That's the only way I can get my little back bend right there. And if you come out of a position, it's perfectly all right. Learn to forgive yourself, as I'm doing right now. Sometimes we come out a little earlier than planned. Hold on to your left ankle. Bring your knees close to each other. Inhale, take your right arm up, and sometimes I like to put my index and thumb together. Exhale, dip your torso, raise your left knee. Look at a point in front of you that doesn't move. The closer it is to you, the more steady you need to be. Exhale and dip. Now, even though this is not a typical back bend, I know I promised to be quiet, but I couldn't help myself. I have to share this. You will feel a little bit of compacting in your spine when you do this. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale and release. And one of my colleagues, another teacher, actually taught me, as soon as you come out of a balance, I know the temptation is there to shake yourself out. She said, just marinate yourself. Well, those were not her exact words, those are my words, but it was a beautiful thought that she shared, and I want to share it with you. She said, just enjoy that posture for a few seconds before you start moving and shaking yourself out. So do that. Transfer your weight to the left leg. Left hand on the left hip for balance. This time I'm going to remember to hold on to my right ankle from behind with my right hand. I'm going to look at a point in front of me that doesn't move and lift my right foot. I'm looking at the tripod at the stand of the camera right there in front of me, the robotic camera. Inhale, the left arm up. Thumb and index touch. That just helps me stay in the moment. Exhale and dip. Inhale, come up. Exhale and release. Your movements, as far as possible, your movements should be slow, controlled, and move with your breath. So if you're a slow breather, as I am, my breaths are more elongated. I speak slowly, I eat slowly, except when I'm very animated, then I speak a lot faster. But if I'm feeling nice and peaceful, your breath will become much longer. So I'm going to do a little bit of a forward fold for this one, just because it's not too much of a back bend right here in Natarajasana, but it still did need a little bit of compacting of my spine. So I'm going to do a little bit of a forward fold. Inhale, the insides of my feet are parallel again. I'm going to face the front camera this time. Inhale, turn your palms out, go up all the way. Cross over, hold on to the opposite elbows. Uttanasana. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Exhale and fold. Now at home, if you're practicing, you're stretching with us, you should feel a delicious stretch in the back of your legs one more time. So your hamstrings, the back of your thighs, back of your calves, everything feels so relaxed. You release all your tension. And then very slowly, bring your palms down to the mat. And this time I'm going to turn, let me see, maybe this way. Turn to the side so you can see me in profile. I'm going to take you through a posture called Marjarya. Marjarya is cat. And for that, I'm going to keep my little cheat sheet right here where I can see it. Now remember, when you're in cat position, your palms are directly below the shoulders. Knees are directly below the hips. Toes are curled in to start off. And then you're going to start a very gentle spinal undulation. So you're going to get a back bend as you dip, and then you're going to arch your back. So it's almost like a forward fold. So let's try that together. Now, turn the insides of your elbow. So right now you can't see the insides of my elbow. You can see how my fingers are spread. But when I turn it, in fact, you know what? Lizette and Antonio, hope you were my crew over there. I think I'm giving you a rough time right here moving around. Turn your elbows out. So that way you're nice and centered. You're really close to yourself, to your body. Your toes are curled in. Inhale. As I dip, there's a reason why I wanted you to see the front of my elbows. As I dip, my elbows will go back. So inhale and dip. Exhale. Uncurl your toes, arch your back. One more time to redeem ourselves. Inhale, curl your toes in. Uncurl your toes, arch your back. Now, because that was more of a spinal wave, your spine went in and out, it was, in itself, it was a back bend and a little bit of a forward fold. So the spine dips and then it comes up. It is independent. By itself, it's a full posture. So you don't have to worry that you're just doing the back bend and you haven't done a forward fold. There is another posture, and in yoga we deal a lot with animal names. So there's another. The next one is called camel. For this one, just like we did the standing back bend, place the heel of your palms at the top of your buttocks. And if you can see me in profile, and I think the camera's picked that up very well, so you can see me in profile, my toes right now are flat. Now, if at home you have any difficulty reaching your heels, it's pure physics. A lot of yoga is mathematical. It's pure physics. If you curl your toes in, the distance is shorter. It's much easier to reach your heel. Notice my left heel, my left foot is down, so my arm has to reach further. So just to be sure that you're doing both sides, you're touching both the heels at the same level, you want to either curl both your toes in or keep both your feet flat. Now, just to balance myself out, I'm going to try this as well. Yes, it feels good. But you also want to remember something. There's always a precaution in yoga for everything. You have to be extremely careful. If you have knee issues, you do not want to keep your toes curled in this posture. It's called camel or ustrasana. So I'm going to keep my feet flat. At my age, I want to watch out for my knees. Heel of your palm at the top of your buttocks. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, glide your palms down. Slowly, right hand reaches for the right heel, left hand reaches for the left heel. Once you've made that connection, tilt your pelvis forward and hold. One full breath. Inhale. Now keep your head tilted back. Slowly bring your palms back to the top of your buttocks, and then keep inhaling. Come up. Exhale. And sit down on your heels. If it's comfortable for you, just stay where you are. We're going to do a little bit of a forward fold right here to balance the ustra, the camel position. So we're going to take the rabbit posture. You're sitting on your heels, the tops of your feet are flat. Again, this is not a position where you want to you don't want to sit on your heels with your toes curled in, because there's a lot of pressure this time on your feet, on your toes themselves. So you want to sit down all the way. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, you can clasp your palms together. Shashank or rabbit. Exhale, fold from the hip. Notice how I'm trying to take my head last. So I'm going to take my palms down and then slowly come down as far down as I can go. One full breath. Inhale, come up. graduate. I think we are doing really well time-wise, so we're going to graduate slowly into some of the seated stretches. One of them is not only a knee bender, it also is a beautiful stretch for your hamstrings, but it's also, if you're able to do it in its full position, it's also a beautiful back bend. Some of you may be far more flexible than others. Take advantage of your body capabilities, and if you're able to go further, please do try, but just be very careful. The next posture is called Kapotasana. Kapot is pigeon. You are already sitting on your knees, on the tops of your feet right now. All you have to do is glide the left leg all the way to the back. And just so I don't go off of the mat, I'm going to come forward a little bit. Take the left leg all the way back. Now, traditionally, your pelvis would sit on your right heel. Now, that's to give yourself a nice little massage in the Muladhara chakra, in the base chakra. If you feel that you want to take it further, and if your body is really ready for it, you can bring your right foot forward a little more, in which case your buttocks will need to come down. But when you bring your buttocks down, if you're going to compromise your posture just so you can bring your foot out, I would suggest stay on your heel. Keep your heel right below the pelvis. I'm going to bring it out halfway. Now, this is where I get my back bend. The top of my left foot is flat. My left foot gets a nice stretch, so I'm getting a beautiful quad stretch as well. Now I'm going to inhale, tilt my head back. I'm compacting my low back muscles. Now, I want to make sure that I don't freeze in that position. I want to be careful with my spine. So exhale and fold. Lead with your chest. And slowly, I'll bring my palms out. Kapotasana, pigeon. This would be a sleeping pigeon. Some of you may want to take this further. I'm going to come up a little bit. If you want, and some of you may be dancers, you may be very flexible. Some, I have noticed, some of my colleagues and teachers, they can bend their foot and take their hand from behind. Now, if you're a person who likes to use props, you can use a yoga belt. Place it over your left foot, take your hands, and then you can pull at that foot. I have knee issues, so I'm going to be very careful. I'm not going to bend my knee. Inhale, glide your left foot in, glide your left leg all the way in, and slowly glide the right leg out. So I'll start off by sitting on my heel. My pelvis is resting on my heel. Inhale, tighten your back, low back muscles. Exhale, fold. Now, as I'm folding, in fact, I probably could have done it earlier, but I'm going to do it right now. As I'm folding, I'm going to bring my left foot forward just a little bit. This is one of my favorite positions anyway. So as I bring my left foot forward, you might have noticed that my right leg went back all the way. We have about 3 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good so far. My right leg goes as far back as possible to get that beautiful quad stretch on the right side. I'm going to bring my palms out. Kapotasana, sleeping pigeon. Kapot is pigeon. Exhale and fold. This posture is also a beautiful massage for your organs in the abdominal region, for all the glands and organs in the abdominal region. You want to make sure that you are positioned in such a way that your body makes contact with itself. So the foot should be able to just tuck into your lower abdominal region. Get a nice little massage. Unless someone's going to give you a punch in the gut, you're never really going to get a massage with your internals, right? Inhale, come up. And then I'm going to curl my toes in slowly, guide my knee back into the center. Actually, you know what? We're going to go into a cobra position. So I have time for one more. Take my leg all the way, taking my legs all the way out. Both legs are out. Like a cobra, like the snake, you want to zip your feet together. Snakes don't have legs and arms. They use their tail to feel the vibrations in the earth, and that's how they navigate. Your palms are directly below the shoulders. Feet are zipped together. Flat. The toes are flat. Tops of your toes are flat on the ground. Great. Thank you. You want to keep your feet almost like almost like it's one leg. So bring both feet together. Press with your palms, forehead to the ground. Inhale, tighten your buttock muscles, and lift. Now I'm going to use the strength of my arms to come up a little more. Now this is where I get my little back bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. When you think it's safe for you to take your palms off of the ground, use the tops of your feet to press in, take your palms off. So that's when you know you're really using your low back to hold you up. But this is about as high I can go without my palms. With the help of my palms, I can probably go higher. This is good enough for me. Use the tops of your feet. Exhale, bring your palms down, forehead to the ground. I think we have a whole minute. Oh, beautiful. We're going to do 2 little stretches, which actually are pretty intense, but not too far from the cobra. Bend both your knees one at a time. Hold the right ankle with the right hand, left ankle with the left hand. Dhanurasana. Dhanur is bow, archer's bow. Chin is to the ground. Inhale, lift your chin, chest, and knees off of the ground. Flex your feet. Tighten your buttock muscles, protect your low back. You're getting a nice little back bend right there. Exhale and release. I have one last one, which one is the full bow, one is archer's bow, and the other is just a boat, B-O-A-T, or a canoe, actually, just one of those tiny little boats.
Banu,
yeah.
You should wrap it up.
That's fine. I didn't close, but that's okay. Do we have the closing titles in yet? Am I still talking on air?
Yes, you are.
Okay, that's fine. But when we come to the next segment, I'm going to take you through a few more postures. You have my contact details right there on the screen. Lizette, Antonio, and Ryan, thank you so much for really literally bringing me back to this world. So I appreciate that. I get a little lost when I'm stretching. So folks at home, stay with us every Monday, 7:30 to 8. Ooh, that feels comfortable.